Hey guys, Josh Culler here, the host of the Good Success Podcast. Hey, I'm just dropping in here to let you know that we are giving a free book away. Yes, a free book called Active Turnkey, The Best Way to Buy Rentals by Tom Olson himself, the president of Good Success. Yes, I did say we are giving it away for free. All you got to do is go to goodsuccess.com/ATKbook. Again, that's goodsuccess.com/ATKbook. as an active turnkey. And we're going to cover the book. So we're going to actually pay for the book and give it to you for free. We're just asking you to cover shipping costs, which is very minimal compared to the value that you're going to be getting in the book. So if you are interested in learning how to create financial freedom with real estate, go get your copy now. Again, that is goodsuccess.com/ATKbook. Thank you for listening to the Good Success Podcast, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I am your host, Josh Culler, and we have a very, very, very special guest with us today. I'm excited about this one because we've got Abhi Golhar back on the show.
Back on the show.
What episode did we have you on? It was like
it was like 4, 5, 6.
No. That was like it was like 104 or something like that. No,
that's what I mean.
I think it was maybe it was 95 or something like that.
That sounds about right. I think it was like 90 something.
Yeah, I should have been prepared before I came on the show here. But anyway, it doesn't matter because we got him back. We got him back on the show. So now there's a fresh episode with Abhi's take on it. So I'm excited about this because we got a really good topic for you guys today. So Abhi published a book called Make It Rain. It's got a little piggy on the front. It's kind of cute. Piggy
yeah. Thing. I kind of figured, you know what? Who else can make it rain other than, piggy banks? So that's where it all starts, right?
That is 100% accurate. So yes. we're gonna talk about this. So this book is all about turning real estate agents into investors. Did I say that right, or is it backwards?
That's right. Yeah, no, exactly. One of the biggest challenges is real estate agents have so much data at their fingertips, they just don't know what to do with it. And this book is designed to help them think more like investors. Gary Keller wrote a very specific book on it too, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent and The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. But this one couples both of these ideas into one and offers a very specific pathway on how agents can allocate capital and then, of course, become investors and see that financial freedom at the end of the tunnel. So really excited to launch it, really excited to get it out there.
Perfect. So we're going to get Abhi to talk about that a little more in depth. But before we get into it, so Abhi is an author. He is the host of the Think Realty radio show, the host of the Abhi Golhar show, which I have personally been on. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And then the Ask Abhi series. He's a managing partner at Summit and Crown and a Think Realty coach. So
that's a lot to do. I don't know how you do it, man.
There's a million more things that Abhi does. So that's just like the primary things. Like I'm pretty sure I hit all of them, but
if I had to pick one thing that I did, it would be all 8 of those things you just mentioned.
So one of them.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back around to Abhi here in just a second. But before we get into it, guys, we have a book that we're giving away for free called the Active Turnkey book. It is the best way to buy rentals. Tom Olson himself wrote this, president of Good Success, and we are giving this away for free. All you got to do is cover shipping costs for us. We're going to have it linked in the comment section. You guys can go to goodsuccess.com/ATKbook, ATK as an active turnkey, and purchase. Well, you're not purchasing it. We're giving it to you for free. We're just asking you to cover shipping costs, guys. That's it. It's absolutely fantastic. We've already had a huge bulk of orders go out. I've had to I wasn't ready for it, so I actually had to pack these personally. Abhi would kill me.
That's why you're not returning my phone calls. You're sitting there packing, shipping books. I understand how it is, bro.
Dude,
I get it. Priorities.
Hey, people are taking advantage of this, man. It's gold. So go get your copy.
I even wrote a little message for you. I love Josh. Not anymore.
That's incredible. Man, he's scribbling it out. What in the world? You missed the J, though, and the O and the S. So all you got was the H.
There we go.
There you go.
I still love you, though.
Completely erase it.
Yeah, no, it's the hashtag Josh Love. There we go.
That's awesome.
New hashtag.
So you guys are going to have a fun podcast. I'm excited about this. But also, remember, guys, go to goodsuccess.com/ATKbook, and we'll have it linked in the comments below so you guys can go purchase that there. We're giving it away for free. I keep saying purchase. We're giving it away for free. Tom's like going to kill me because we're giving all these away for free. But all you got to do is cover shipping costs. So take advantage of that. A lot of great content. And we've already sold out a big bulk order of these. So I'm excited about it. It's a great book. And then also we have our Good Success Mastermind. The next event coming up is November 8, 9, and 10. I just sent Abhi a calendar invite, and I'm hoping that he's going to accept that. So
you did. I saw it pop up. I'm like, oh yes, that's right. Reminder. It's always good.
So we are going to be having that event in Miami, Florida, guys, and it is an exciting event. The Good Success Mastermind is a great community that we've put together. The country's top real estate investors all across and almost all markets that you can possibly imagine that are in there. Great community we have built in that, great culture for you guys there to help grow your business, flush out any issues, take advantage of any opportunities. The entire room becomes a board of advisors, and we are very excited about that. So you can go to goodsuccess.com/mastermind to learn more about that. We do have you fill out an application because we do want to learn more about you to see if it would be a good fit for you to be in the room. Your first event is free to come to. So take advantage of that. November 8, 9, and 10 is in Miami, Florida. Again, that's goodsuccess.com/mastermind, where you can check that out. And then also, last but not least, if you guys are not subscribed to the Good Success Podcast, make sure you do. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Anchor, SoundCloud. We're on all of them, guys. So just go to any of those platforms. Stitcher, I left out Stitcher. So go to any of those platforms, just search Good Success, and you will find us there. A lot of great episodes that we have, a lot of great content, and you guys will be able to listen to a whole slew of other amazing interviews that we've had, including the one that we did with Abhi a few episodes ago. So without further ado, Mr. Abhi Golhar, let's get into this. Make it rain. We're going to have it linked below so people can go to Amazon and purchase it. Great book. I'm sure. I actually have not read it, Abhi. I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm going to go purchase it right now. And I know that we got on a phone call the other day and I told you to lower the price.
Yeah, you did. And
so
then
you're welcome, guys, if you go purchase it.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like an Amazon thing. I don't know. I think they have a set threshold on KDP, right?
Right.
So yeah, it works. It's 166 pages, excuse me, of actually, from what I think, is gold for real estate agents, right? Like one of the biggest challenges that I've found is agents just don't get it sometimes, right? They're in the whole slew of, anyway, I have a radio show, 2 of them. And so I generally have the ability to like talk for an unnecessary amount of time and use superfluous vocabulary. So I'll let you ask the questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking.
Well, we're going to talk about the book. So this isn't right. This isn't just to sell you guys into it. We're definitely going to be giving some value here, but we will have it linked below so you guys can go check that out as well. So Abhi, let's talk about it. So one of the topics that we talked about was the mindset required to succeed. Actually, no, let's talk about, let's start there. That's a good starting point. So for real estate agents to kind of get into real estate investing, what kind of mindset are we talking about here?
I mean, I think it's understanding the facts first, right? Understanding who I am as a real estate agent, and then who I want to be as a real estate investor. Fact number 1, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2016, they averaged the income for all real estate agents across the United States. Do you know what the average salary for a real estate agent in 2016, the average is across the US?
100,000.
Nope, $46,410. Do you know what that equates to every single hour?
I'm not good at math, so
yeah, if you're working 40 hours a week, that equates to $22.32 an hour. Now, what real estate agent do you know works only 40 hours a week?
Not very many.
I mean, real estate agents, they work a crap ton more, right? You're driving around from listing to listing. You have so much stuff to do. You come back to the office, pick your favorite brokerage here. You have your CE credits, your CE classes, your social media stuff that you're doing offline. Like you're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
So you take that $22.32 an hour and you cut that in half, and you might as well be doing something else with your time. The problem is real estate agents aren't thinking outside the box enough to become investors. So they still have this poor mindset, this poor mentality of, oh, well, I just need to go get 2 or 3 more closings to hit my quota for the month. No, like that is not the mindset, right? That is not how you succeed as a real estate agent at all, right? It doesn't matter if you're selling $1 million homes. It doesn't matter. right? We need to start filling these buckets and allocating our cash appropriately so we can win. And that's what Make It Rain is all about. It is the new launch model that real estate agents need so that they can succeed financially in life and set themselves up to win.
So quick question then, because I've seen a lot of real estate agents veer off of their brokerage. So they're with Century 21, they're with, Remax, they're with, what else is out there? Keller Williams. And I've seen, because I'm friends with, on Facebook with a lot of people that are actual real estate agents being in the industry, because real estate agents are starting to get the picture that they want to work with investors, But I've seen a few of these people actually go out and start their own brokerage. What's that all about?
So I feel like most of them are starting to understand this is a business game, right? This isn't just an individual brand game. So in order to win that, I'm an agent. I want more agents working under me. It's kind of pretty much an MLM structure. If you don't know what an MLM structure is, you have the primary at the top. You just recruit other, in this case, agents below you, and you start getting overrides. I understand that. And maybe that's just the way that they want to scale and grow so that they don't necessarily have to work as much. I get it. But becoming a broker, you want to be the lead broker, that principal broker. There are certain requirements that you also have to meet, very specific to that space. There are regulatory requirements, disclosures, etc. And sometimes if you don't treat it like a business, if you treat it like a job, you end up failing. And that's what they don't realize, is a brokerage isn't going to take away from the fact that sometimes they're not investing financially in their future. Building a business is one thing, right? Like there's no difference between a real estate agent that starts a brokerage versus a startup guy in Midtown Atlanta that caters to the healthcare education space. No, there's no difference there. Mm-hmm. But they're just running their businesses. What they're not doing is having their money run its own business. And for the majority of people, you need a combination of business and real estate investments. And in this case, in a market like we're in today, you have to be paying attention to single family rentals. I talk about it on my nationally syndicated radio show, Think Realty Radio, and also with the entrepreneurs and business owners I interview on the morning show, the Abhi Golhar show on Biz 1190. It's the exact same thing I see time and time and time again, right? We're focusing way too much in the business. We're not focusing on what our money is doing for us long term.
That's interesting. So then building a business as a realtor, what does that look like? What are the first steps that somebody needs to take? Maybe because I know this was one of the things that we're on the list to talk about today. First steps for a real estate agent getting into real estate investing. What does that look like?
So let me preface this by saying I don't think there's anything wrong with starting your own brokerage. If you want more work and you want less free time, go for it, right? Like totally do that. Ask my buddy Chris Lazarus, right? He's 31. His brokerage does roughly about 100 million a year with 15 agents or so. Like he is on fire, or maybe more agents, I can't remember. But you should see, like he spends the majority of his time training his agents so they can win. And he's understood the business of brokerage. If you're a real estate agent and you don't have a dream of owning your own brokerage one day, you know what? No big deal. But you should then own your brand independently so that you can win. The way that you can do that is hire a VA, somebody that you can leverage so that you don't have to send out the emails. You don't have to do the remedial tasks. Number two, if you don't have a good LinkedIn profile, like look at Josh Culler's LinkedIn profile. Look at what he's doing on social. Look at his engagement rates on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, most importantly, Facebook. Go to Good Success on Facebook and just see what they're doing, right? You can see that over the last couple of months, they started with a couple hundred podcast listeners a month, and now they're at a few thousand a month. The same thing on the Facebook space, right? They had a couple of hundred likes, and because they're providing value and constantly providing value to their space, they're at now 950, 1,000.
Something like that.
Something awesome, right? Yeah. So we understand that that people no longer feel this affinity toward brands necessarily. They're attracted to brands because of the people that are in it. And because you are a real estate agent, you're working with somebody's house. A house is something super personal. So as much as they appreciate, say, the Century 21 brand or the Keller Williams brand, they're not going to buy into that, but they will buy into you. And one of the biggest things that you can do is up your social game and tell the world that you're here to serve them. And then you'll get a lot of feedback from people, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, DMs. And then you need that internal business process to handle that while you continue to go out there and be the awesome agent that you are. Number one hire, VA, get one. You can go to Upwork.com and start treating your business like a business. If you treat it like a job and you're doing everything, guess what? I can be editing my own social stuff. I can be editing, let's say, my own video stuff, which I have been for the last little bit. But thanks to Josh, I don't have to do that anymore, right? He's like, you need to stop doing this. You just need to go talk for a living. Okay, I can do that.
Just be Abhi.
That's right. So you know what? Like, it happens. You know, I sometimes become a little bit of a perfectionist, and I don't think that other people can do the same job as I can. And agents, I'm sure you feel the same way, right? Like, nobody will show your house the same way that you do. Fine, but pick the things that you're absolutely amazing at doing, and focus only on those things, and then hire the rest out. If you don't have the money to do that, you know what? Fine. Then go sell a couple of houses and reinvest it back into yourself. And we'll get to the financial allocation piece in a second too.
Right. And I think something interesting that you said, so owning your own brand, that's super interesting, because I've seen a lot of real estate agents that they're with, their brokerage, but then like, it's just the broker's logo. So like Keller Williams is in the very, very bottom right corner of their business card and their Facebook page and all that stuff, which is a really interesting topic too, because I believe it was in Crushing It, not Crush It, by Gary Vaynerchuk, the book Crushing It.
Crushing It, yeah.
He gave an example of a real estate agent. I don't remember what city he talked about. Let's just say it's Detroit, right? And I don't think that was it, but let's just say it was for the second. And he talked about building your brand, your personal brand under a brokerage that you can still do. But he gave an example and talking about the real estate agent is known as like the local, like know-it-all in that one town, that one city. So she's going to restaurants and, mingling with their community, becoming a part of their, their city hall meetings or something like that. I don't know, just getting really involved in the actual town so that they are made known as the go-to real estate agent, and putting out articles about the town, just all kinds of content that goes out really to give you leverage so that you're known as that one person in the realtor space for that town.
Yeah, so what real estate agents are missing the boat on totally right now is talking about neighborhoods within their markets, right? Yes. So for example, I can write a 500-word blog about, or let's say in this case, I think historically in the real estate space, you want about 1,000 to 1,200 words. So let's say I'm writing 1,000 or 1,200 words once a week or once a month about Atlanta real estate, right? And the Atlanta real estate market. That's not going to get as much love. I don't know why I'm holding this, by the way. That's not going to get as much love from Google as, say, the great rental market that Kirkwood, a community in Atlanta, has in the great Atlanta area, and compare that to, say, Ormwood Park, or compare that to Old Fourth Ward. So the more specific we are, the better it's going to be. Real estate agents already have access to so much information. For example, great rental markets, right? Investors need to know this. Yeah. Flippers need to know this. Institutional funds need to know this. You need to know this, and I need to know this, right? Everybody is always looking at buying real estate, whether it's a homeowner or it's an investor. Might as well start catering some of that information to other like-minded investors that you could potentially partner with.
Right.
Types of homes and styles of homes. Super easy, right? Like, you already have this data. This is a quick 30-second teardown off the MLS. You know the size of home, bed, bathroom configuration, the type of home. Is it a craftsman traditional construction? Is it more modern? Is it more farmhouse? You already have access to this data. And then, like you said, Josh, the way the market is moving. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it good? Is it up? Is it down? Is it not? Where do I need to invest? And then most importantly, the micro markets within, say, Atlanta, because Atlanta is Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But you have Kirkwood, Ormwood Park, Midtown, Downtown, Buckhead, East Atlanta. College Park, the West End. There's so many different things, so many different pockets that I can become an expert in to showcase my knowledge to an investor that I could potentially partner with later down the road.
Absolutely. And okay, so I'm going to ask a question about that specifically here in just a second, but I think everything that Abhi just mentioned, everything that I even said before Abhi started that conversation there, is as a realtor, you have the choice where you can become like almost an influencer or a thought leader in your market specifically for real estate agents. And that isn't with the whole slew of real estate agents out there. Okay, I shouldn't say it, nobody. Hardly anybody is doing this. It is there's such a gap in that market where you can actually become a thought leader in the real estate agent space just by creating content about that specific community. And like you said, I mean, Atlanta's a big market. So there might be somebody already there doing that. But going niche into a town or a community, that kind of thing,
you're going to win the game.
That could be a big leverage point for many, many real estate agents.
Yeah, you're totally going to win the game. Like, you know how stupid this is? Okay, this is how stupid this is. I am not a real estate agent. And I am so frustrated with how many agents are coming up to me and saying, oh man, Abhi, what are you doing differently and all this stuff? And so a non-real estate agent, had to write a book for real estate agents. Like this is the dumbest thing. All real estate agents should be like slapping themselves in the face.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is, just.
And again, it depends on what your goals are too, right? So it's like, if you don't want the headache of building your own brokerage, then okay, this probably isn't for you. But if you're the type of person, which I see a lot of real estate agents that are out there hustling, grinding, trying to like, not just like do their job, but above and beyond. Like this is probably something that you want to take advantage of.
Yeah, especially if you already know this data. Right?
Yeah.
You already have sales prices, you already have days on market, and you can see if neighborhoods are heating up, if they're cooling off. Days on market get shorter, longer, respectively, right? When the last date sold was, if there was a date sold in that neighborhood, say longer than 6 months or longer than 8 months, then you probably know it's a good rental neighborhood. Then you just become an Inspector Sleuth, right? Like try to figure out what's going on. Why are people not selling? Is this a market or is this a neighborhood that's positioned to turn? Or are people holding on to this, holding on property in this area? Why? The architectural styles, we talked about that already, right? Modern homes for new construction. Why is new construction being put there? It's just like, it's kind of a puzzle, but once you figure it out, you can not only use this information for your benefit to either wholesale deals or sell more investment property to investors that are buying it so that you can make money, but then in turn, use this information for your own benefit to either wholesale deals, flip deals, and most importantly, buy long-term single-family rentals and multifamily units. That is the name of the game. If you're not buying long-term real estate, fail. Like you're failing at life. I can't even like write that up here. Hashtag fail at life.
Hashtag fail.
Just fail. Exactly.
So let's go into that a little bit deeper. And then you also mentioned right before we got into that conversation about the relationship. So how important is it for a real estate agent to have relationships with real estate investors already? So if they are still in the real estate agent space, they're still there. Because I know even when I first got my start in this real estate industry, I just remember the first 2 or 3 years of being in that, where like real estate agents were all over us. They did not like real estate investors, specifically wholesalers, which I get because there's a lot of sketchy wholesalers out there, right? That don't do things correctly, which absolutely. But I feel like a lot of real estate agents don't have good relationships with investors. I know personally for Olsen Group, with our construction team, our property management team, and then the buy and sell, we have a lot of relationships with real estate agents, real estate brokerages, and it's very valuable for both sides. So how is it, or why is it so important for real estate agents to have relationships with investors, and how can maybe they leverage that? So
the biggest reason why is because when the market turns in any direction, guess who's always going to be buying from you 100% of the time? Investors, right? Like they're always looking for deals. And if you can constantly prove to them that you're the go-to agent by the proper branding, by the proper messaging, by the proper information you're putting out there, then guess what happens? They start to trust you more. And now you're giving me independent advice and you're in the school district, or let's say you have a son or daughter that goes to a very specific school and you have an in at the school. You can tell me, wow, the teachers are getting a little bit better. There are more people being attracted to this school for that specific reason, right? parents want to go to school districts where their kid can get the best possible education. So that's where they're going to go. So the relationship there is really key. I'm not saying leave the retail side and go only to the investment side. I'm saying have a good mix of both, because let's face it, right? The interest rates are going to continue to clock up. Homeowners the amount of deductions that you can get for interest payments now have decreased, right? So sometimes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be a homeowner, but it does make a whole lot of sense because home affordability is decreasing from the retail side. Guess what happens? People need to rent. Guess who's buying rental property? Not the homeowners, otherwise they'd be homeowners. Real estate investors are buying the rental property. So now, right, imagine this, right? Now you're totally blowing your model to pieces on the home ownership end, and you're servicing investors from the property management piece. Hold on. Let me back up for a second. Let's not even think about property management, right? Let's just think about I'm finding good property in secondary and tertiary markets outside of, say, Atlanta. I'm a real estate investor. If you are a real estate agent right now and you have property in Newnan, in Lilburn, in Douglasville, in Villa Rica, in Alpha, call me, because I'm very interested in buying this stuff. So that's
if it's retail though?
Not if it's retail, if it's wholesale. So if it's a clunker and I can fix it up and rent it out, that's all me. If it's maybe turnkey, great. I'll take a look at that too if the cap rate makes sense, right? So that's an easy avenue. That makes sense. Now, I'm an investor. Let's say I'm out of state. Let's say I'm buying in Nashville, Tennessee. And I live in Atlanta. Am I going to go to Nashville every day and manage my properties? No. So income stream number one, commission from the sale. Income stream number two, property management. Income stream number three, the ability to connect with this investor, potentially partner on deals, and now you have income that way. If you don't want to partner with that specific investor, do it yourself. And now you start seeing gains that you're going to see, that will be part of you for a lifetime instead of just your quick flips. And that's the problem that I have with agents that are flipping way too much right now, is they're not stocking away for the future.
Right. Absolutely. And one of the previous episodes that we've had, guys, we had Forrest Bryant on here, and he talked about,
great guy.
And he talked about multiple income streams, which Abhi just gave you 3 right there off the bat if you're a real estate agent. But I think that other people can leverage that as well. So we got one more thing to talk about here, and this is a little bit of a shorter episode, but it's okay. There's a lot of great information here. And I think, Abhi, this doesn't just work for real estate agents. It is specifically for real estate agents, but investors can use this too. To give this information to their real estate agents. So I think that could be valuable as well. So
that's right. Investors are the ones that can benefit from this, in addition to real estate agents, right? Agents just have more access to data.
Right.
Investors can couple and partner with the real estate agent and do deals together, because who wants to be rich alone? Like, that's not fun, right? Like, I want to be rich with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's key too, because if you're a real estate investor and you're listening to this, if you're already in that real estate investing space, that creating relationships with realtors is very valuable, especially if they're willing to, if it's a relationship that you're able to leverage for the exact reasons that Abhi just talked about. They can get you inventory, right? That's probably the biggest one, because real estate investors are always looking for inventory because they got to feed their funnels, right? So. And
they'll also suggest on like what areas are starting to heat up, because they know. My agents in Atlanta will tear down. Man, I wish I could send you like the screenshot, which I probably should. You can include it. They'll tear down a radius. So you pick a property and you go out like 2 miles, and I can track all of the solds. I can download all of the sold properties within this circle. And I can make that circle as tight as possible or as large as possible.
Absolutely.
I can download all of that information, sort it by bedroom, bathroom, square foot, age of home, how much it sold, when it sold, days on market, and get a very granular understanding of the market. Right. And then what am I going to do as an investor? I'm going to say, real estate agent, say Sandra or Josh, you're my real estate agent, right? Hey, Josh, you know what? You provided me crazy value. Here are the specific properties that I want to put offers on.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And if you're not looking at the MLS right now, you know what? Everybody isn't looking on the MLS. You know why? Because everybody wants the off-market deals. You know where I'm finding deals right now? Because everybody wants the off-market deals and doing bandit signs. I'm finding deals on the freaking MLS.
And what do you need? What do you need in order to get on the MLS?
You need a relationship with a real estate agent.
Bingo.
Or become a real estate agent yourself. But
yeah,
if you don't want to become a real estate agent, then go find one that you can work with.
And if you become a real estate agent yourself, you still need this information. So
exactly.
Win-win.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So last thing we got to talk about here, and this is in, complete, it's a segue into what we're going to talk about next, is you had talked about a pathway for agents that virtually guarantees success. So kind of define that, what that actually means. The virtually part of it kind of intrigues me. So let's talk about that.
Because there's no guarantee, right? So hence the virtually guarantees. Yeah. I think if you do small things, if you do the right things, the right small things consistently over time, then you'll see the success that you want.
Compound effect.
Exactly. Real estate agents just need help with one key thing, and that's allocation of capital. Right? I see a commission. How does that commission get allocated into my buckets? I have a fund bucket, I have an investment bucket, and I have a property bucket, for example, right? Or I have a marketing bucket. So the first bucket needs to be my savings, hands down. Okay, I need a 6-month emergency fund. I need a Roth IRA, and that's going to be my $5,500 a year. If I don't qualify for that anymore, you can backdoor it, so you can contribute to your traditional IRA and then convert that to a Roth. No big deal. But you need to max that out every single time. So max out your 6-month, max out your Roth, and then if you're working for yourself, maybe like a solo 401k option. Now you are secured financially. Bucket number 2. Your marketing bucket. So remember how bucket number 1 is your savings and security.
Right.
Then and only then is bucket number 2. So does that mean right now you'll probably have to hustle a little bit to find your deals as you stock up on bucket number 1? Absolutely. Then hustle and do it. Bucket number 2 is your marketing bucket. You need to make sure that you have deal flow. So eventually when you get there, start working on Facebook ads, Google ads, start writing content. And this is where, I'm sure you can pick Josh's brain or get in touch with me at bookwithabhi.com to schedule a 15-minute power session. But essentially you have 1,000 to 1,200 word articles, get that published, right? Start networking with people in your industry. If that requires handshakes, if that requires lunch meetings, dinner meetings, coffee meetings, whatever throughout the day, great, do it. You know why? It's a requirement. Absolutely. So that's bucket number 2. Bucket number 3. This is after commissions, right? So you make commissions, bucket number 1, bucket number 2 is your expense. Bucket number 3, again, post commissions, is going to be your investment bucket. Every real estate agent, if you're flipping real estate because it's hot right now, great, more power to you. Build a business around that, but most importantly, if you're wondering what to do, and if you don't want to flip because it's a little bit of a speculative play for you, great. You know what? It is. That's the definition of flipping. You're banking on an after repair value. That's speculative in nature. If you don't want to play on speculation, if you don't want drama in your life, great. Buy single family rentals in secondary and tertiary markets. Do that. And that's as simple as walking into a community bank, having a conversation with the branch manager and saying, listen, my name is Abhi. I'm looking at investing in multifamily, small multifamily, single family portfolios here in Atlanta, Southeast, wherever you are, Macon, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, Seattle. And I want one thing, to buy as many as I can over a period of 10 years. And you start stocking away in that third bucket a little bit every single month. And all of a sudden you'll have $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 as a down payment for your first rental. What an awesome option. It seems super easy, right? Of course, right? You need the 3 buckets. You have this and then marketing, and then if you want, eventually add infrastructure as well. That's fine, right? But these are the absolute 3 required if you're operating yourself. If you don't want to hire anybody, you don't want to hire a VA, no big deal. Bucket number 1, your safety. Bucket number 2, marketing. Bucket number 3, investment. If you don't have these buckets, you will fail. If you have these buckets, you give yourself the best shot at financial success because you're buying long-term single-family rentals. If you want to play the syndication game, I have a fund, and we are always looking for those investors that are accredited investors, because we deploy capital in operators by taking a limited partnership position in the Southeast United States. We've done a good number of these transactions. We've syndicated now 40 deals roughly here in the Southeast, and we're always looking for that play. But you know what? As an agent, you don't necessarily need that. You need 3, 4, 5 rentals. It'll change your life.
So should somebody build those buckets if they, let's say they don't have any of them? So should somebody build those buckets in that order?
I would suggest absolutely in that order. I get that you have to invest the money back into your business, but you have to take care of yourself first. Mm-hmm. If you don't take care of yourself first, you will find yourself investing in your business over and over and over and over and over and over again. And there will come a time when that is not good enough anymore. And you'll look back and you'll say, oh man, I have to pay the video guy, and then I have to pay the graphics gal, and then of course I got to do Facebook marketing. And all of that will come first before you. You need to feel safe. You need that safety net. And real estate agents, you need a safety net. Believe me, if you don't have that, and if you don't already have income property, you're losing the game.
Yeah. And when he says taking care of yourself, guys, that doesn't mean go out and buy a Porsche.
Right. Yeah. No, we're not even going to go into materialistic things. If that's what you're thinking, then do me a favor, stop, like hit the stop button, right? Hit the stop button, take your laptop, or your phone, right? And throw it out the window.
As hard as you can.
As hard as you can. Break your phone. Right? Like break your phone, because you're a terrible person if you are that materialistic. Right? Like just stop that. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your watch. Nobody cares about your car. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Believe me. And if they do, they shouldn't be your friend.
I think that you said that on the last podcast too.
Yeah, I think so. I think we were talking about this for a while. Look at this. And I have this in my hand. Look at this.
And you got as angry last time as you just did here. So
that's right.
I get it. Awesome. So anything else we want to talk about that's in that book specifically, or anything else before?
Oh man. I mean, I wish I could summarize 166 pages of like pure gold. Look at that shameless plug, right? But yeah. I think the chapter list is really intriguing. I'm happy to share the first chapter for free for anybody listening, and I'll send you the PDF so you can offer that as well. Mm-hmm. But I would say, one of my favorite chapters here is chapter 10, where it's next level thinking. I interview Joe Fairless. I interview Thach Nguyen, who's one of my all-time idols. He's a guy that came over from East Asia on a boat, and now is a millionaire real estate agent and investor out of Seattle. Awesome. Great guy, amazing story, and he offers some really good insight on what you can do as well. Chris Lazarus, he's a good buddy of mine. He's the broker who does $100 million in sales in his brokerage every single year in and year out.
Nice.
And he's spoken at Inman Connect in San Francisco, interviewed him. Dan Butler, Douglas Skipworth from Crescore out of Memphis. Those guys are geniuses. They have, I think, a few thousand properties they're managing for others in their portfolio, and they have a portfolio of a couple of hundred homes that they own themselves. And picking the brains of these power players has been phenomenal for the book. Really excited about that. And we also talk about the how you can market for scale and what you can do to build your brand right now. And no fluff, right? Like, I'm one of the people out there that doesn't have any coaching programs. You can't pay me $10,000 for a fur bus tour of Atlanta. I don't do that, right? Like, it's what you see is what you get. I'm going to give you everything for free, as much as I can for free. And you know what? Let's rock and roll. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Awesome. Abhi's got a lot of great content out, guys. We're going to link all of his profiles, and I believe we tagged him in this premiere. So you guys make sure you go check it out. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. He's on YouTube as well, but then he has his shows. So his shows are the Ask Abhi. What's that?
No, go for it. It's the Abhi Golhar Show in the morning.
Yes.
That's my morning show, all about business and entrepreneurship. That's on Biz 1190. So you can go to abhigolhar.com. The afternoon show is like my favorite show, all about real estate investing. It's the only show that I do about real estate investing. We're in 42 cities. We should be actually a lot more by the start of next year. Mm-hmm. And I've interviewed everybody from the chief economist, Doug Duncan at Fannie Mae, to I can't even I can keep going down the list of amazing guests for that show. It's been so much fun.
Tom Olson's been interviewed on there. You've interviewed
Tom Olson, that's right. So Tom Olson, Gary Harper, Sonia Booker, of course, all the Think Realty influencers and coaches. Yep. Sam Freshman, who's like the godfather of raising capital out of California. He actually, I asked him for a free internship, and he laughed at me. And then and then he proceeded to have his office gal get in touch and say, hey, if you're still interested in doing a free internship, Mr. Freshman would love to have you. I'm like, yes. Let's do that.
So Abhi's an intern.
I'm a free intern for somebody. I'm sure I'm going to be walking somebody's dog at some point. But he's a great guy, and I only suggest that for folks that I think are like gods in this space. But yeah, thinkrealtyradio.com. But if you want to get all of that information in one concise location, go to abhigolhar.com.
Perfect. And they can contact you from that website?
Yep. I'll do one better. If you go to bookwithabhi.com, you can schedule 15 minutes to connect with me based on your time, and it will connect right to my calendar.
Awesome. Sounds good. So you guys take advantage of that. We'll have that linked in the comment section so you guys can click on that easily and connect with Abhi. Abhi, one question that I didn't ask you last time. I know we're a little tight on schedule right now, but we're going to wrap it up real quick. One question that I asked you last time when you were on the podcast that I ask almost all of my guests. So good success means a lot to us. So on episode 100, we got the whole good success team in here and talked about good success and all that. That phrase alone means a lot to us. But when you think of the phrase good success, what does that mean to you?
That's loaded. I would say two things, and very simply two things. Number one, spending as much time with family as I can. Because that's it. Yeah. Number two, giving so much value to others that their jaw drops. Yeah. And being in the industry that we're in, it's value sometimes that's used and abused in a really bad way. And I remember, man, like when I started investing in real estate in the inner city of Detroit in the cold winters of Michigan, I didn't have that value. Nobody gave me that value.
Right.
And growing up, and my dad has been a professor at Western since 1983. And every single class of his that I attended, he always went that extra mile. And he always said to me, he's like, everything that you do, even if it's an inch more value, if it's just an extra 5 minutes that you spend with somebody, make them feel your love and information, but make them feel better about themselves leaving the interaction with you.
Interesting.
And so between family and offering value and education to folks in the highest and best way that I know how, that's good success.
Perfect. That's awesome. I love hearing that. Value is very, very huge when it comes to not just running your business, but personal life in general. I think that's incredible. So giving value, perfect. Appreciate that, Abhi. Thanks so much. Nailed it. So Make It Rain. We're going to have it linked below. It is on Amazon. You guys can purchase that there. And or you can go to Amazon, just look up Abhi Golhar, just type in Abhi Golhar, his name and his book, and all the rest of his books will come up as well. So Abhi, appreciate you being on the podcast today, man. It was awesome. I got to have you back again soon, obviously.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure for you, man. I do have a question for you.
Okay, what's that?
How's that? How do you do that goatee? Is that like a fade thing? Like I'm trying to grow a little something, but it's like.
So I've tried growing what you have, and it just patches, man.
Really?
I can't get anything to go.
So, I'm trying to get what you have. I mean, I'm trying to do like one of these things. So just like imagine this. It's just like this, and then with like a little Anyway,
I have no answer for that, man. That's just
it's all good.
That's what God blessed me with, I guess. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Well, cool, man. Thanks for having me again. It was a blast.
Awesome. So you guys can check out abhigolhar.com. Go there and you can learn more about him, all the stuff that we mentioned that he does, all the shows that he hosts, a lot of great content that he puts out. So you guys make sure you take advantage of that. Thank you so much for listening to this Good Success podcast episode. Make sure to subscribe to us. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Anchor, or Spotify, any one of those platforms, however you like to listen to your podcast. Make sure you subscribe. And just a quick reminder to go pick up your free copy of the Active Turnkey book. It's absolutely free. Just cover the shipping costs and we'll pay for the book. Just head over to goodsuccess.com/ATK book. Again, that's goodsuccess.com/ATK book. And you can pick up the book there. So make sure you go do that. Thank you for listening. And remember to be a conduit, not a bucket.